Good morning, friends. It's Sunday, which you know what that means? It's Sunday dinner. What are we having today? We're having spaghetti. We're having salad. We're going to have some homemade croutons, and we're going to have some garlic toast. So let's get started with the croutons first. So what I have here, when I got up this morning about 7:30, I went ahead and sliced my bread. I have 6 slices of bread here, just your average white sandwich bread that I cubed. I've got some parchment paper down, and I put a little bit of olive oil on that parchment paper. You're just going to need some basic ingredients. Use whatever spices you want as far as what kind of croutons you want to create. I'm going to do like a garlic parmesan crouton. So I'm just going to add some olive oil to my bread here. I have my little toaster oven preheating to 350. We're going to do some olive oil. Mason was talking about my croutons the other day, so I thought I would make him some. Well, I gotta get my spatula. I left it. Oh, there want to be. I left my spatula on the table, and they're just want to be flying by. I had the door open this morning, and evidently he just flew in. Okay, so I've got some garlic powder. And I've got some Italian herbs. Now don't be afraid to season it because that bread is going to absorb that. I'm going to do some salt. I'm going to do some Parmesan cheese. Now like I said, you could do just cheese if you wanted to, depending on what kind of croutons you want. So I'm going to give these a little bit of a stir, and then I'm going to hit the other side. The same process we just did. A little bit more olive oil. A little bit more of that garlic. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a good day. It's beautiful here. The sun shining. It's supposed to be almost 60 today. Ooh, we are loving it. I'm getting some domestics done so I can go out later and sit outside. Told Elena that maybe we even eat out on the patio today. It's so nice. All right. A little bit more of the Italian herbs, and then a little bit more of the Parmesan cheese. There we go. Give them another little mix here, just to make sure we get all of them incorporated. Toaster oven or oven, 350 degrees. Just watch them. Toast them to your liking. I'll let you know how long mine take as soon as we get done with them, and I'll be back. So our croutons are in the oven. I set the timer for about 20 minutes. They've been in there about 10, and you kind of want to toss them so they get brown on all sides, so they're almost done. While I was waiting on those, I just whipped up a simple salad with some romaine hearts. These are my favorite to make a salad with. Just some tomato. I'm just keeping it basic today, and I'll put that in the fridge. Also, while I was waiting, we're going to make that homemade marinara sauce that I'm in love with for our spaghetti sauce today. So, but I'm going to do a little bit different. I'm going to make it in the slow cooker because the boys, Mason and Brock, are at an archery shoot, and I have no idea what time they'll be home. So I'm going to go ahead and make the sauce, put my slow cooker, let it do its thing, and all I have to do, they'll call me or text me when they're leaving. They're about a half hour away, and then I can prepare the spaghetti noodles, and when they get here, it'll be time to eat. So I have a half of chopped onion here. I have a little bit of olive oil in my pan. I'm going to saute these onions, and once I get those nice and translucent, I will switch those over to my toaster oven my slow cooker where we're going to make the spaghetti sauce. So I'm gonna let that go. Also, I used half the tomato in my salad. I'm gonna chop the other half to put it in the spaghetti sauce. I like some chunky tomato in there. You can use canned if you don't have any fresh, or you can leave it out. It's just what I like. All right, nothing goes to waste. There we go. I'm gonna give these a few minutes to saute, and then I'll be back so we can work on that sauce together. Sunday dinner, y'all. So look at our delicious croutons. They are done. About 15-20 minutes. Just kind of get in there and shake them and turn them around a little bit so they'll brown on all sides. So we got our salad done. We have our croutons. Now we're going to finish up this sauce. So I've got those onions. They're nice and softened up. I'm going to add in about a teaspoon of garlic. Always personal preference, the onion and the garlic. Do what you like. I'm going to give that a few minutes to go get together there. So while it's going, we're going to go ahead and in my slow cooker here, I'm going to add, now if you know what time you're going to have dinner, you don't need to do this in a slow cooker. You can do it in a pot. So I've got, instead of the, usually the box tomatoes that I buy, I couldn't find them at my little grocery store, so I got these instead. And this is a crushed tomato with basil. And I thought, oh, how great, because I don't have to add the basil in. So I've got 2 cans here to start with. I may have to add a third. I won't know until I add my ground beef in. So we will see. I'm going to start with 2. These are 28-ounce cans. Okay. Now, to that, I'm going to add those chopped tomatoes. I'm also going to add a can of mushrooms, probably 2 of these. They're just little, I didn't have any fresh mushrooms. Sometimes I add mushrooms, sometimes I don't. But I thought a little fungus sounded good. A little fungus among us. Okay, I'm gonna add that in. Let me get my other can of mushrooms here. These are things I like to keep in my pantry to have on hand. Yeah. Get the rest of those in there. Just like meatloaf, I never really make a spaghetti sauce the same way, but I'm loving making this homemade marinara just because I know what's in it. I know there's not any added sugar. There's not a lot of salt that I can add in myself, because this is basically tomatoes and garlic or basil and a little bit of salt. So I know exactly what's going into my sauce, and I can add in what I want. Okay. Onions and garlic are ready. They're going to go right in the pot too. I'm going to save this skillet because I'm going to brown my ground beef. Don't want to say that 3 times fast. All right, here we go. Give this a stir. Smells so good. I'm gonna do about a 1/3 cup of olive oil. Now, if you watched yesterday's video and I did that naan bread and that chicken korma, the naan bread was a huge hit. Brock loved it. Mason loved it. I loved it. I ate it with hummus. It was so good. I'm looking forward to making that again and experimenting with that. Some of you said try it with Greek yogurt. I dislike Greek yogurt a lot, but my suspicion is you can't taste it, just like you couldn't taste the sour cream. So I may try that next time. All right, so we got our 1/3 cup of olive oil. So to recap for the marinara sauce, sauteed onions, garlic. I've got 2 28-ounce cans of crushed tomatoes with basil. That way you don't have to add the basil in. I'm going to add some garlic powder. I'm going to add this Italian herb grinder. It has salt in it, so with the herbs. So I'm going to put this in and then see if I need to add any salt. Go. Let me grab a little spoon here for a taste test. Doesn't need any salt, but it does need a pinch of sugar. Personal preference again. To me, that cuts down the acidity, and I've always put sugar in my, you could use monk fruit, stevia, whatever you want. little bit of sugar. Not much, you don't need much. And there we go. That is our basic marinara spaghetti sauce. I added the mushrooms and those chunky tomatoes. Now at some point I may want to thin it down a little bit and I'll add a little bit of water. You could add veggie stock, chicken stock, whatever you want. I'm getting ready to ground the ground beef. I keep saying that. Ground the ground beef. It's ground. I didn't grind it. They grind it for me at the store. I'm about to brown the ground beef. Now, you could use whatever you want. Ground chicken, ground turkey, no meat, sausage. My family likes ground beef, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put this sauce on high, give it time to go. I'm gonna go and do this burger and I'll be back and we'll finish off the sauce. All right, friends, we have that ground beef added to our spaghetti sauce. There it is. Looking thick and lovely like me. All right, I'm gonna give it a taste now that I've got all that incorporated together. See if I need to add any salt or anything like that. It does need a pinch of salt. So that's what we're gonna do. Always taste your food. You can't tell by looking at something what you're gonna need. Always taste your food. Okay. Go. Pinch of salt was all it needed. Now, it's pretty chunky. We like a little bit of thinner spaghetti sauce. So I've rinsed my can here with a little bit of water in that crushed tomato. I'm just gonna add a little bit. See, it doesn't look like pure water because I've rinsed that can out. That looks good, and I'll continue to watch it as it cooks to see if I need to add any more. I will save this can. Now my other can, I want to show you what I do with it. It's a little tip for you. And maybe it's something you already do. I don't know. Okay, let me put this back on. The lid on there. Now it can safely cook and be fine. I don't have to keep an eye on it. I can go back to doing whatever I was doing, which is folding laundry. I'm almost done. So let me show you what I do with my other can. I put this in my sink, and when I cook ground beef, I pour the grease. Oh, there's that bee. Hang on, there's that bee that come in the house. He's on my can. Wee! I set that bee free. All right, so I saved my can in this sink. Evidently, it's a nice bee catcher also. I pour my grease into the can, and I leave it in the sink because it's hot. And once that grease gets hard, I put it in a grocery sack and tie it off before I put it in my trash. That way the dogs can't get into it and lick it and eat it and be sick, and it doesn't get all over my trash can and my trash bag. That's a tip, something I've always done. So save your can for a grease can. You got your baking jar, you got your grease can. Of course, I don't save that grease. So anyway, that's it for now. We'll come back and I'm gonna show you how we're gonna do our simple old school garlic toast. Stay tuned, I'll be right back. So got a phone call or a text, not a phone call, from Mason that they're gonna be here in 30 minutes. So I need to get this together, get this show on the road. So I transferred my sauce to a regular saucepan here because I knew I needed it to come together a little bit quicker. I wasn't expecting them home this soon, and I'm kind of surprised. So no big deal, just an extra dish to wash. Wah, wah, wah. Transferred it to here. Got my salted water going for my spaghetti. Let's do this old school garlic toast. This is something my dad always did growing up, except it usually wasn't bread. It was leftover hamburger buns. And I gotta get my garlic. He would make us, I don't think I ever had actual garlic bread till I was probably a teenager. Oh, do you hear my cuckoo clock? It's 1 o'clock. So let me do one thing at a time here. Let's do the garlic bread, then I'll tell you about my cuckoo clock. Okay, so I've just got 6 pieces of bread here, and I've buttered each side, and I'm gonna hit them with some garlic powder. Now this is all my dad did growing up. It was just garlic salt was all we got. I'm using garlic powder because there's salt in my Italian herbs. I'm gonna treat it the same way I did this croutons. Same pan, Didn't even have to dirty up another pan. Here's those beautiful croutons. Crunchy and fantastic. Now I'm going to hit it with this Italian herb grinder. I love this. I don't even remember where I got it, but I love it. It's got everything in it. $350 on my toaster oven. Parmesan cheese too. Go. Oh, that looks so good. I'm not going to do the other side, just the top on these. That's it. I'm going to throw it in the toaster oven, and then I'm going to come back and tell you about my cuckoo clock. So growing up, my Ohio grandparents had a cuckoo clock, and I loved it. And I've always wanted one. It's been on my bucket list. Now it's not a German. I wish. It's not quite that expensive, but I got it on sale and I absolutely love it. I'll have to take a picture of it so you can see it at the end of the video. I just love it. It took me a little while to get it calibrated and set so it cuckooed at the right time, but it's just so cute and I just love it. I'm so happy about it. All right, it was on my bucket list of things to have, and now I have it and I just love it. You can set it so after 10 p.m., from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., it doesn't go off. So at 6 o'clock in the morning, it'll start cuckooing again. And you can turn it up or down. So you can't, you know, it's not too loud. The other day I had it turned up pretty loud because I was trying to set it, and me and the cat both jumped, me and Marvin, because it scared us. Anyway, I love it. We're gonna get all this thrown together and then we'll be back for dinner time. Now, I'm not a huge spaghetti fan, but I do love spaghetti squash. So that is what I'm fixing myself to go with the meat sauce. Now, this is 25 calories for a half a cup, 4 grams of carbohydrate, 0 fat. I actually like it better than spaghetti noodles because spaghetti noodles, although I mean, they're okay, they're just not my favorite. I'm not a big pasta eater. Spaghetti does raise my blood sugar quite a bit. So I'd rather have the croutons and a piece of bread than the spaghetti noodles. You make your choices. Now, I wanted to say too, these croutons and the garlic toast can be made with any bread you want. There's low carb bread, you could do regular bread, or even they have a keto bread they sell there at Aldi's. Okay, I'm gonna cook my noodles and then we'll be back. Back. So Sunday dinner's ready. Here is that gorgeous old school garlic toast. We've got our salad, our croutons, and look at this delicious sauce we made together. Look at my spaghetti squash. It's supposed to be in spirals. It's just kind of a squash mush, but I'm gonna eat it. It tastes delicious. It just doesn't look like spirals. Anyway, there we go. I'm just gonna, it says it's 3 half-cup servings. That is not. That's 1 cup. So anyway, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna eat mine right out of this bowl. Yep, there we go. I'm gonna add a little bit of this shaved Parmesan. I'm gonna have me a salad with that beautiful croutons and that garlic toast. Sunday dinner. Thanks for stopping by, hanging out, and following along with me. Have a great day. Bye, friends.